Tucson.
8:35. Welcome back to the Jon Justice Show. We just had Sean McCluskey, political gadfly. I have no idea what that word really means. It just fits. Nobody ever questions me on it. So when you're involved in politics, but you're not elected to a position and you give people a hard time and do a lot of campaigning, political gadfly. But he is part of the anti-Prop 409 campaign seeking $100 million for Tucson streets. Again, $100 million over 20 years to do some 30% of our major roadways. We'll bring Paul back on the line, owner of Tucson Asphalt. Paul, if you weren't in the asphalt business, would you still be supporting this bond measure?
Well, that's a tough question, but I think that it's a pretty easy yes, if you drive around.
Well, I thought you just said it was tough, and then you just said it was easy. Which way is it?
Well, I'm Tucson Asphalt. I'm not holding that back.
Sure.
Okay?
No, I'm just saying, but if you weren't in the asphalt business and you were looking at this, not through, and I don't begrudge you for wanting to get funds so that you can do more work and you can pay your employees. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I understand.
Look, it's all about the no mentality. Everyone's got this no mentality. I'm in these associations. I'm working for accountability with the city. When I go to the council meetings, you're not there. Your viewers aren't there. I'm the only one there.
Well, that's not. I know some of our viewers do go there. We do pay attention. You can't.
A lot in taxes. We all do, and we can't drive on the roads. Are you kidding me?
But this is not. Look, this bond measure. You know this. 20 years, 30%. The people being taxed are not going to be able to tell any difference 20 years from now with this. The fact that city council members themselves have said the only reason they did this is because they keep getting complaints from the people of Tucson about the roads. They know it's not going to pass. I mean, even Fimbres knows. He was the one that said there's no way this is going to pass. They're using it so they can throw the onus back on the people of Tucson and say, well, you didn't pass the bond measure, so therefore it's not our fault. The people of Tucson didn't want it. If they did, they would have passed this. And you and I both know it's not going to go 30%, 20 years is not nearly enough to go and do the work that actually needs to get done to show a significant difference in the roads here.
I understand. I think we need to get away from the no. We need to get to the yes. We need to get active.
Well,
if 10% of the energy spent bashing that mayor and bashing that council was spent on going down there and trying to correct things and trying to be heard and trying to make a difference, we'd be a lot farther along.
But that's not going to change until
20 years from now, I might not be on the planet. I'm 51, by the time I'm 60, I plan to make a difference in this town. I'm a small business, 35 people. I want my roads paved, and I'm tired of the no. You see it on the state level. You see it on the national level. I mean, these people that call in, this is incredible.
Paul, why don't...
No. I mean,
Paul,
if I had a happy pill, I'd mail one to everyone in the city.
Paul,
and everyone in the county. I'd mail to you.
Happy wouldn't change anything. Paul, if you wanted to make a difference as the owner of Tucson Asphalt that can take advantage of this, you are the one that can stop and say no to actually make a difference and say you're not going to pull a fast one on us again. Look, the details alone, the city already spends between $3 to $5 million a year fixing potholes, which when you break up that $100 million is the exact same amount that they're going to spend with this road bond. You know as well as I do, they're going to take the money that they were going and working on the roads already and siphon it someplace else. They're trading off the ability to spend the money they're already spending by throwing it on the taxpayer. You know that's what's going to happen. If you follow any of what's going on, that's exactly what they'll do because they've done it before.
Well, that's unfortunate. I'm unfortunate that that's the state, that we're just at a no. And
but do you disagree with that? Do you disagree that's what they'll do? That's what they're going to do?
Well, I think that if they had voices there at the council and they had more people down there, that there'd be more accountability.
Paul,
government is of the people. It's not just that council and
right.
that mayor.
Why don't you stand up and say, look, I could use this money to help my business, to help my employees, but I don't trust the city council to do the right thing. If you're going down there, you could have the voice of the business owner who could say, I could take advantage of this, and I don't trust you guys. You guys need to fix the problem. You're the guy that can do that. You're the guy that has the voice and the power to do that.
But I'm alone when I go down there. I'm alone. I don't see you. I don't see your listeners. I don't see this guy that, all these people that are saying no. I don't see them there, and that's the reason why I called.
Well, okay. You could make the difference, though, Paul. You could stand up. Even if it's true and it's not true. I know we have listeners that go down there. And I've been down there before.
10 years ago, I told Carl Watson, oh, yeah, you're slated to get paid at the auto mall. Never happened. So, I know what's going on. Not ignorant.
Well, I understand that. But
I really think that if we get down there and we get active, we can make a difference. I don't think the rest of it, all the no's and the 20 years and nothing's going to get done and the money's going to get stolen, I just don't see any of that going anywhere. I think that we can affect change if we work with the city.
We can't.
We go down there and we work with these people.
No, we could.
When's the last time you talked to them directly?
You can't work with these guys. You know you can't work with these guys. You know it falls on deaf ears. It falls on your deaf ears, and it falls on the deaf ears of the individuals that do listen to the show and go down there.
I don't necessarily believe that, hook, line, and sinker. There's an awful lot of good people in city government.
No. They've said themselves, Paul, the city council members themselves have said the only reason they're doing this is because they know it's going to fail, and they're going to throw it back on the people of Tucson and say, you guys didn't want your road fixed. It's not our fault, because the reality is the roads are in such crappy shape because they didn't prioritize for the past 10, 12, 20 years, and they let them get in this condition. And now all they're looking to do is to put out a bond measure that's going to fail so they can throw the onus back on the voters. And
I don't know that it is,
They've said that it is. They've said that it is, Paul, and it just bums me out because as a business owner and somebody who can reap the benefits of this, if you are a lone voice out there, that's a voice that can make a difference. If you stand there in front of them and go, look, guys, I don't trust you with the money. You're already spending $5 million a year. This bond issue is going to be $5 million a year. They're going to siphon off that money. They did it with the 4th Avenue Bridge when they got federal funds. They took the money they were going to spend on roads, and they went and they threw it towards that. They've done it before. They're going to do it again. You could have a voice in this. You really could.
Yeah, well, your points are well taken. I think that if we work together and we get down there, that I'm at the airport. Let me close the window.
That's all right.
That we can do a lot better.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that the adversarial approach and all the no's is definitely going to get us nowhere.
Well, unfortunately,
what can we do? Tell me what we can do to move forward?
We can
we can no to the city. Do you have anything where we can move forward and get on some common ground? Are there people out there listening that are going to go to the council meetings now and say, hey,
there are people. There are people that do. But unfortunately,
I don't see them there, John.
You're there every single time, Paul? I mean, seriously, are you there for every single city council meeting? There are people that out there, and there are people that don't go to the city council meeting or getting involved in other ways as well. But unfortunately, for year after year after year, it's fallen on deaf ears. It just has, and people got burned out. The only way we're going to be able to have the change is to make sure that we expose the corruption of what the city council tries to pull and what they have pulled, and hope that at some point in time we're going to elect the proper leadership that's going to prioritize and make the right decisions, because this bond measure is not going to fix the roads.
Can you commit to me to go to the next city council with me?
No, I have no idea what's on my schedule. I will go to you for one, but I'm not going to commit to the next one. But I will go down there at some point with you, Paul, and I'll go to a city council meeting. But the problem is, Paul, when you go to the city council meetings, because I've been there, they're not talking to you. You can speak all that you want to them, but they're not going to respond because of the way the rules go. You can say what your piece, and I say my piece on the airwaves all the time. If it means something to you to have me go with you, I would be more than happy at some point in time to go do that. But I've been down there. I've spoken to the city council before, and I've watched their eyes glaze over when we start speaking. The moment they see who I am or other individuals that go down there and speak, their eyes just glaze over because they're not the individuals that carry the influence on that city council. I've seen it time and time again, and I've been down there numerous times.
Let's see what we can do to get to some agreement and some yeses. I really like the new mayor. I really support him. What do you think about the new mayor?
I'm glad to see that there's been some accountability. I'm glad to see that there has been some discipline done with the corruption that's taking place. I've seen that. Apart from that, the jury's still out, in my opinion. It really is.
What do you think this bond will do to empower the mayor if it passes?
No, I think this bond issue is going to pass. I think you're going to be able to work on the roads, but they're already spending $5 million. I'm telling you right now, that $5 million will go somewhere else. You're not looking at a situation where you've got $30 million over 20 years and the bond measure passes, and they're going to include that on top of the already 30-some-odd million that they're spending with the $3 to $5 million every year on roads. They're going to take that money they were spending, and they're going to put it someplace else. If they committed to say, not only will we use the $100 million bond, but we commit to make sure that the money we're already spending will continue to spend so that 100 goes to 200. Then maybe we're on a path somewhere. But I'm telling you right now, there's no way on God's green earth that's going to happen.
Okay, so it's all just a no then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Because they need to be stopped, unfortunately, because they keep wasting our money. They do, and this is an excuse. This is not a fix. This is not a long-term fix by any stretch of the imagination. It's an excuse. It's an excuse to say the city of Tucson, the people, the voters rejected the bond measure. It's not our fault the roads are bad. That's all that they're trying to do, and they've admitted it themselves.
Well, I hope that the listeners will get more involved and the people in the city will get more involved, and I hope to see you all at the next city council meeting because, when there's 10 people there, nothing happens. Nothing gets done. And this, I understand your point about them not listening, but I think that the democracy still works. It can still work in the city of Tucson. I think we need to get away from the nose.
Well,
we need to get down there. We need to do the work. So wherever you fall on the issue, if it's going to pass or not pass, let's get away from the nose and the negativity.
All right, Paul.
This town, man.
Well, thanks for.
What I'm saying? So if you can get to any yeses, if you can get to anything positive that would help move us forward, other than a no, let me know.
All right. Well, I'll give you a yes when it's something that I think that they can be trusted with. But unfortunately, I wouldn't trust any of them as far as I could throw them. So we'll see.
For your time.
Thanks, Paul. Well,
day.
thanks for your time as well. 751-1041 is the phone number. Rick Grinnell?
Good morning. How are you?
You want to chime in on this?
Yeah, just real quick. First of all, I appreciate Paul's energy and enthusiasm, and I really do understand. A lot of people work during the middle of the day, which makes it hard to go to council meetings, number one.
Sure.
Number two, he's correct. There's a lot of good city of employees, and Dick Miranda has done a great job of bringing discipline and responsibility back to this. But Dick, unfortunately, is not responsible for policy. And this is where the budget issue, and I've forgotten more about the budget than most people will learn. And I don't say that out of arrogance. I've been doing this over 25 years, and I've been at meetings. I've been on the phone with these people. And my biggest concern with this whole thing is something that's been alluded to a couple times. There's no guarantee that the money that's already dedicated, which is significantly less than it should be already,
right,
is going to stay with that. Number two, this is an offset. What they're going to use, what concerns me is they're going to use this to subsidize the streetcar.
Yep.
Because the streetcar is $4 to $6 million upside down before we even get the damn thing on the route, on the tracks.
Well, you've got that citizen advisory committee lined up already. So if they all decide, well, the money's best used to go and, close down Congress and make it pedestrian only, it's part of the roads, we'll go and put it over there. You're absolutely right.
And politically speaking, when politicians want to get something done, they find the money to get it done.
Yep.
And that is reality politics. And if Paul really wants to make an impact, what he really wants to do is educate himself on the total budget so he understands where they're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and also realize that the priorities in the spending are not consistent with the basic primary core services that this city adopted in 2006. And when they commit to doing that and sticking to it, and he would not give one of his employees a pay raise if they didn't earn it. It's time that we make our politicians earn the respect that they want. Thank you.
Rick, thanks for the phone call, buddy. 751-1041 is the phone number. Look, I'll say yes when they've got good ideas. Stop subsidizing. Look, I'll give you this. A few years. We only have to subsidize SunTran by law, some $765,000 a year. And what, we're doing $30 million? Is that what it was? I think it's more than that. I'll have to look it up again. I know it's in the millions of dollars. Hey, you know what? Cut back on the public transportation a bit, fix the roads, and then when we're done, you can put the money back in again. I'd say yes to that. More of the Jon Justice Show coming up. Your phone calls as well. It's 1041 The Truth. Right Talk for Tucson.